Success is predictable, and so is failure. Both follow natural laws that govern human potential and achievement. But today I want to talk about something that's systematically destroying your ability to follow these laws of success, something that's quietly erasing your purpose, one scroll at a time. Every morning, billions of people reach for their phones before they reach for their dreams. The average person will spend 7 years of their life on social media. 7 years. Think about that. 7 years of watching other people live their lives instead of building your own. 7 years of scrolling through carefully curated highlights while your own story remains unwritten. Look around you. In restaurants, you'll see families sitting together, each lost in their own digital world. In parks, you'll find people taking perfect photos of moments they're not actually experiencing. In offices, professionals interrupt deep work every few minutes to check notifications that add no value to their lives. We've become a society of digital zombies, wandering through life with our heads down, necks bent, thumbs scrolling endlessly through an infinite feed of emptiness. We're more connected than ever, yet more disconnected from our purpose than any generation in history. Let me share something powerful with you. An army of lions led by a sheep will always be defeated by an army of sheep led by a lion. But today we're neither lions nor sheep. We've become digital parrots, mindlessly repeating and sharing content created by others, while our own unique voice remains silent. Your purpose isn't hiding in your Instagram feed. Your destiny isn't waiting in your TikTok notifications. Your greatness isn't measured in likes and shares. While you're busy building a following, life is waiting for you to start leading. Today we're going to uncover the hidden truth about how social media is systematically destroying your potential, and more importantly, what you can do to reclaim your purpose and power. Let me tell you about the greatest deception of our time. We believe we're more connected, more informed, and more empowered than ever before. But this is an illusion, a carefully crafted fantasy that's robbing you of your most precious resources, your time, your focus, and your unique potential. Think about this. When you open your social media apps, you're entering a world designed not to empower you, but to capture you. These platforms aren't tools, they're traps. They're sophisticated psychological mazes built by some of the most brilliant minds in technology with one purpose: to keep you scrolling, to keep you engaged, to keep you coming back for more. Every like you receive triggers a small dose of dopamine in your brain. Every notification creates a tiny moment of anticipation. Every scroll promises the possibility of something new, something exciting, something that might finally make you feel complete. But here's the truth. You're chasing a mirage in a digital desert. You see your friends posting their perfect moments, the vacation photos, the career achievements, the relationship highlights, and slowly, imperceptibly, you begin to question your own journey. You start measuring your ordinary moments against everyone else's extraordinary highlights. What you don't see are the thousands of ordinary moments, the struggles, the failures, and the real work that creates genuine success. Let me share a profound truth with you. While you're watching others live their lives, your own life is passing by. While you're scrolling through carefully curated content, your own story remains unwritten. While you're reacting to other people's achievements, your own potential remains dormant. The average person checks their phone 262 times per day. That's once every 5.5 minutes. If you're sleeping 8 hours a day, that means you're interrupting your life, your thoughts, your potential every 3.5 minutes during your waking hours. This isn't connection, it's fragmentation. This isn't information, it's distraction. This isn't empowerment, it's imprisonment. Your mind, your creativity, your ability to focus deeply, these are the tools of transformation. These are the ingredients of purpose. But social media platforms have become the invisible thieves of these precious resources. They've turned you from a creator into a consumer, from a leader into a follower, from someone with unlimited potential into someone endlessly seeking validation through limited metrics. The real danger isn't in what social media adds to your life. It's in what it subtracts. It subtracts your ability to sit with your own thoughts. It subtracts your capacity for deep work. It subtracts your power to discover and develop your unique purpose. And most dangerously, it subtracts your awareness that any of this subtraction is even happening. But here's the good news. Once you understand the deception, you can break free from it. Once you see the trap, you can escape it. And that's exactly what we're going to learn how to do. There are natural laws that govern success and achievement in this universe, just as there are laws that govern gravity and motion. These laws don't care about your number of followers. They don't bend to your social media influence. They respond only to action, to creation, to genuine contribution. The first law is the law of deep work. Everything meaningful in human history was created through sustained, focused attention. The pyramids weren't built by workers checking their phones every 5 minutes. Revolutionary innovations didn't emerge from minds fragmented by constant notifications. Your purpose, that unique contribution you're meant to make to the world, requires the same level of deep, uninterrupted focus. Think about water for a moment. When water flows everywhere, it creates a swamp, stagnant, shallow, breeding nothing but insects and illness. But when water flows in one direction with focus and force, it creates rivers that can carve through mountains. Your attention works the same way. When it's scattered across social media platforms, it creates a swamp of shallow thoughts and reactive behaviors. But when focused, it can break through any barrier, solve any problem, create any reality you envision. The second law is the law of creation versus consumption. Every moment you spend consuming content is a moment you're not creating your legacy. Every hour spent scrolling through others' achievements is an hour not spent building your own. Nature itself teaches us this truth. Nothing in nature is designed to be passive. Every plant grows, every animal hunts or forages, every cell produces. Yet we've become a society of consumers, constantly feeding on a diet of digital content that leaves us emotionally bloated but spiritually starving. The third law is the law of present power. Your power exists only in the present moment, not in your memories of the past, not in your fantasies of the future, and certainly not in the virtual reality of social media. When you're half present, one part of you in the real world and another part lost in the digital realm, you're operating at a fraction of your potential. You're trying to write your life story while constantly being interrupted by other people's narratives. The fourth law is the law of authentic achievement. Real success leaves clues, creates value, and transforms lives. It's not measured in likes, shares, or follows. These are artificial metrics created by platforms to keep you engaged in their ecosystem. True achievement is measured by the real-world impact you create, the lives you touch, the problems you solve, the value you add to the world. The fifth and final law is the law of concentrated identity. You become what you consistently do. If you consistently scatter your attention across social media, you become scattered. If you consistently seek validation through likes and comments, you become dependent on external approval. If you consistently consume rather than create, you become a consumer rather than a creator. Your actions aren't just what you do, they're what you become. Understanding these laws is crucial because they reveal why social media is so destructive to your purpose. It's not just about wasted time, it's about violated natural laws. Every time you break these laws, you move further from your purpose, further from your potential, further from the impact you're meant to have in this world. But here's what's exciting. These same laws, when understood and applied, become the very tools that will liberate you from the social media trap and propel you towards your purpose. Let's talk about what's really happening when you pick up your phone and open those social media apps. You're not just opening an app, you're activating a sophisticated psychological trap that's been designed by teams of experts to hijack your brain's natural reward systems. Every time you receive a notification, your brain releases a small dose of dopamine, the same chemical responsible for pleasure and reward. But here's what makes this particularly dangerous. Your brain doesn't distinguish between meaningful rewards and empty digital validation. When you get a like, a comment, or a share, your brain treats it the same way it would treat achieving a real goal or receiving genuine appreciation. This creates what psychologists call an intermittent reward system, the same mechanism that makes gambling so addictive. You never know when the next dopamine hit will come, so you keep checking, scrolling, posting. It's like having a slot machine in your pocket, except instead of gambling with money, you're gambling with something far more precious, your purpose, your potential, your time. But the trap goes deeper. We've developed what I call digital FOMO, fear of missing out. This isn't just about missing social events anymore. We're afraid of missing trends, afraid of missing news, afraid of missing opportunities. This fear keeps us tethered to our devices, constantly checking, constantly consuming, constantly reacting instead of creating. Think about this. When was the last time you felt genuinely satisfied after a long social media session? Not just entertained or distracted, but truly fulfilled. You can't remember, can you? That's because social media platforms are designed to create a state of constant mild dissatisfaction. They show you carefully curated highlights from others' lives, creating an impossible standard of comparison. They feed you endless content that's just interesting enough to keep you scrolling, but never fulfilling enough to make you stop. You're caught in what I call the comparison competition. You're no longer competing with your potential. You're competing with filtered, edited, carefully selected moments from thousands of other lives. It's a competition you can never win because it's not real. It's like trying to race against mirages. You'll exhaust yourself chasing something that doesn't even exist. The most insidious part of this trap is the identity confusion it creates. You develop a digital self, an online persona that may have little to do with your authentic self. You start performing for the camera instead of living for your purpose. You begin to measure your worth not by your impact on the world, but by your impact on an algorithm. Your real identity, the unique combination of talents, experiences, and potential that only you possess, becomes buried under layers of digital performance. This trap affects your creativity in profound ways. Instead of creating what's meaningful, you create what's shareable. Instead of solving real problems, you're solving the problem of getting more engagement. Instead of developing your unique voice, you're echoing what's trending. Your creative energy, the very force that could be building your legacy, is being channeled into feeding a system that gives nothing of real value in return. And perhaps most destructively, this trap has altered our understanding of time. Social media has created what I call micro-time, fragments of attention scattered throughout our day. But real achievement, real purpose, requires macro-time, long, uninterrupted periods of focus and deep work. You can't build anything meaningful in micro-time, just as you can't have a meaningful conversation in 2-second snippets. The trap has become so normal that we don't even recognize it anymore. Like fish that don't know they're in water, we've become so immersed in this digital environment that we've forgotten what it feels like to be truly free, truly focused, truly purposeful. But here's what gives me hope. Traps only work when they're invisible. Once you see the trap, once you understand its mechanisms, you can begin to free yourself. And that's exactly what we're going to discuss next. How to break free from this trap and reclaim your purpose and potential. Breaking free from social media's grip isn't about complete disconnection. It's about reclaiming your power of choice. It's about transforming from a passive consumer into an active creator. From someone who watches life happen to someone who makes life happen. Let me share with you what I call the power of conscious disconnection. This isn't about throwing away your phone or deleting all your accounts. It's about understanding that every time you choose not to check your phone, you're actually choosing to check in with yourself. Every notification you choose to ignore is a vote for your focus. Every scroll you resist is an investment in your purpose. The process begins with what I call digital self-awareness. Start observing yourself like a scientist. When do you reach for your phone? What emotional state triggers your social media use? Are you using it to escape discomfort, to avoid work, to fill empty spaces? This awareness is crucial because you cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Most people don't realize that their greatest power lies in what I call the 3-second gap. That tiny space between impulse and action. When you feel the urge to check social media,
Pause for just 3 seconds. In those 3 seconds, ask yourself, is this serving my purpose or is it serving the platform's purpose? This simple practice begins to break the automatic pattern that social media platforms have carefully engineered.
Here's a powerful truth. Your focus is your freedom. In today's world, the ability to maintain sustained attention is becoming a superpower. While others are fragmenting their focus into smaller and smaller pieces, you can choose to cultivate what I call purpose-driven attention. This means deliberately directing your focus toward activities that align with your larger goals and values. The next step is value creation versus validation seeking. Ask yourself, are you creating value or are you seeking validation? Are you building something meaningful or are you just building a following? Real influence comes from real impact. When you focus on creating genuine value, the right kind of attention follows naturally. You must also understand what I call the authenticity paradox. The more you try to be likable on social media, the further you drift from your authentic self. True power comes from being willing to be unseen while you build, to be unpopular while you develop, to be misunderstood while you innovate. This leads us to strategic invisibility, the power of building in silence. Every great achievement in history had a period of invisible preparation. The seed grows underground before it breaks through the surface. Your purpose requires the same kind of protected space to develop. Let me share a practical technique I call purpose blocking. Just as you might block time in your calendar for meetings, block time for your purpose. During these blocks, your phone goes into airplane mode. Your notifications are silenced, and you enter what I call your creation zone. Start with 30 minutes and gradually expand it. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish in focused, uninterrupted time. Remember this, the world's most successful people aren't those with the most followers. They're those who've learned to follow their purpose with unwavering focus. They understand that real power doesn't come from being constantly accessible, but from being selectively accessible. Your journey to breaking free begins with a single choice, the choice to value your attention as the precious resource it is. The choice to stop being available to everyone so you can become valuable to the world. The choice to trade shallow connections for deep impact. The process isn't easy. You'll feel the pull of old habits. You'll experience what I call digital withdrawal. The discomfort of disconnecting from the constant stream of validation and distraction. But this discomfort is a sign of growth, a signal that you're reclaiming your power. Breaking free doesn't happen overnight. It happens one choice at a time, one moment of resistance at a time, one act of focused creation at a time. But each choice builds upon the last, creating a new pattern of purpose-driven living. Now that you understand how to break free, let's talk about redesigning your digital life in a way that serves your purpose rather than sabotages it. This isn't about living in the past. It's about living intentionally in the present. The first principle of digital redesign is what I call purpose-aligned technology. Every digital tool in your life should pass through this filter. Does it multiply your impact or divide your attention? Does it amplify your purpose or dilute your focus? Technology should be your servant, not your master. Think about a master craftsman. They don't abandon their tools, they master them. They use them with precision, with purpose, with clear intention. Your relationship with social media should be the same. You must become a master of these platforms rather than letting them master you. Here's a powerful strategy I've developed called the Digital Impact Matrix. Divide your online activities into 4 categories: creation, connection, consumption, and waste. Creation is when you're producing valuable content or ideas. Connection is meaningful interaction with people who matter to your purpose. Consumption is learning from valuable sources. Everything else is waste. Your goal is to maximize the first 3 while eliminating the 4th. Let me share what I call the 90-10ths principle of social media use. Spend 90% of your time creating value, developing ideas, building relationships, and working on your purpose. Allow only 10% for consumption and casual browsing. This ratio ensures you remain a producer rather than just a consumer in the digital world. Implement what I call digital office hours. Just as a professional doesn't allow random people to walk into their office at any time, you shouldn't allow social media to interrupt your life at any moment. Set specific times for checking and responding to social media. Outside these hours, these platforms don't get to demand your attention. Here's a crucial concept: digital minimalism. Every notification you allow is a contract you're making with distraction. Every app you keep is a potential claim on your attention. Begin removing apps that don't serve your purpose. Unfollow accounts that don't inspire or inform. Unsubscribe from notifications that don't matter. Develop what I call platform specificity. Each social media platform should serve a specific purpose in your life. LinkedIn for professional networking, Instagram for visual portfolio, Twitter for idea sharing. Don't let every platform become everything. That's a recipe for digital chaos. Most importantly, establish your digital boundaries. These are non-negotiable rules that protect your purpose. No phones during deep work. No social media before your morning routine. No checking notifications during conversations. These boundaries aren't restrictions. They're protective walls around your potential. Remember this: in the digital age, your attention is like a piece of prime real estate. Everyone wants a piece of it, but you are the owner. You decide who gets access, when they get access, and how much access they get. Your purpose deserves the penthouse suite in the building of your attention. Don't rent it out to social media platforms for cheap likes and hollow validation. Your redesigned digital life should feel like a well-organized tool shed, not a chaotic marketplace. Every tool in its place, every platform serving its purpose, every notification earning its right to exist. This is how you turn technology from a source of distraction into a source of power. The transformation process, 300 words. The transformation from a social media captive to a purpose-driven individual happens through specific, measurable steps. This isn't about motivation. It's about transformation through deliberate action. Let me introduce you to what I call the Purpose Reclamation Protocol. This is a systematic approach that begins with a stark reality check. Track your current social media usage for 3 days. Don't change anything yet, just observe and record. Most people are shocked to discover they spend an average of 4 hours daily on social media. That's 60 days per year of your life given to scrolling. Next comes the digital detox phase. For the next 30 days, you're going to systematically reduce your social media consumption while increasing your purpose-focused activities. Each time you feel the urge to check social media, redirect that energy into what I call purpose projects. Activities that directly contribute to your goals and personal growth. Monitor your transformation through what I call reality metrics. Don't count likes or followers. Instead, measure real achievements. Pages written, problems solved, skills learned, relationships deepened, projects completed. These are the metrics that matter to your purpose. The final phase is purpose integration. This is where you begin to experience what I call flow state living, where your actions naturally align with your purpose without constant struggle or willpower. You'll know you've reached this state when checking social media becomes a conscious choice rather than an unconscious compulsion. Remember this fundamental truth: transformation isn't an event, it's a process. Each day you choose purpose over distraction, creation over consumption, reality over virtual reality. You're not just changing your habits, you're literally rewiring your brain for success.